During the 16th century, the Ottoman Empire emerged as one of the most formidable military powers in the world, projecting influence across the Middle East, North Africa, and Europe. Under the leadership of Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent, the empire's armies were not only vast in number, but also highly organized, technologically advanced, and strategically innovative. Central to this military strength was a professional and disciplined force, featuring elite soldiers, skilled engineers, and massive artillery. The command of experienced leaders like Ali Pasha ensured that Ottoman campaigns combined military power with careful planning, allowing the empire to achieve victories across diverse theaters of war. At the heart of the Ottoman military system were the Janissaries, an elite infantry force that had been rigorously trained since youth. Recruited primarily from Christian populations through the Devshirme system, these soldiers were converted to Islam and trained in combat, discipline, and loyalty to the Sultan. By the 16th century, the Janissaries had evolved into a professional corps capable of executing complex battlefield maneuvers, forming disciplined infantry lines, and adapting to both siege warfare and open field engagements. Their training emphasized obedience, precision, and cohesion, allowing them to perform with effectiveness that often compensated for numerical disadvantages. Alongside the Janissaries, the Ottoman army included Sipahi cavalry, auxiliary troops, artillery units, and specialized engineers. The Sipahi were mounted cavalrymen who held land grants in return for military service. They provided mobility, reconnaissance, and shock power during battles, complementing the disciplined formations of the Janissaries. Auxiliary forces, often drawn from regional populations, added flexibility and local expertise to Ottoman campaigns. Engineers and artillery specialists played a particularly critical role, enabling the Ottomans to conduct successful sieges and fortification operations. The Artillery Corps Mapwer represented a major advancement in Ottoman military capabilities. Under Suleiman's reign, the empire invested heavily in developing large cannons, mortars, and siege engines. These weapons were used to breach walls, suppress enemy fortifications, and instill psychological pressure on defenders. Some Ottoman cannons were among the largest in the world at the time, capable of firing massive stone projectiles over considerable distances. The integration of artillery into coordinated assaults transformed siege warfare, making previously impregnable fortresses vulnerable and giving the Ottomans a decisive edge in territorial expansion. Commanders like Ali Pasha played a pivotal role in translating Ottoman military potential into battlefield success. Serving as a provincial governor and military leader, Ali Pasha oversaw the organization, deployment, and logistics of large-scale campaigns. His expertise ensured that armies were not only well-equipped, but also well-supplied, maintaining cohesion even during prolonged sieges or marches across challenging terrain. The ability of leaders like Ali Pasha to coordinate infantry, cavalry, artillery, and engineers reflected a level of military professionalism that set the Ottoman forces apart from many contemporary European armies. In addition to personnel and weapons, the Ottoman army relied on meticulous logistics and planning. Supply lines were carefully maintained, provisions stockpiled, and communication systems established to ensure that campaigns could continue without interruption. The empire's administrative apparatus supported military operations by collecting taxes, recruiting soldiers, and coordinating regional resources. This integration of civil and military organization allowed the Ottoman army to operate effectively across vast territories, projecting power far beyond the immediate reach of the Sultan's capital in Constantinople. The combination of discipline, organization, and technological advancement made the Ottoman military a formidable opponent in both Europe and Asia. Campaigns in Hungary, the Balkans, and the Mediterranean often demonstrated the empire's ability to integrate siegecraft, field maneuvers, and naval operations. By deploying elite units such as the Janissaries alongside heavy artillery and expertly coordinated cavalry, the Ottomans could overwhelm defenders who might have held out against less sophisticated forces. The role of engineering and innovation. In Ottoman campaigns cannot be overstated. Siege tactics, fortification construction, and battlefield logistics were all enhanced by skilled engineers who designed and implemented solutions to complex military challenges. Tunnels, trenches, and sapping operations allowed the Ottomans to undermine walls and fortresses, while artillery emplacements were optimized for both offense and defense. The integration of these technical capabilities with disciplined troops created an army that was not only powerful, but also adaptable and strategic. Moreover, the Ottoman military system was supported by a culture of meritocracy and loyalty. Promotions were often based on competence and demonstrated skill rather than solely on noble birth. This approach encouraged capable leadership at multiple levels, ensuring that units were commanded by officers with the knowledge, experience, and authority to execute complex operations. Loyalty to the Sultan and the empire was reinforced through rigorous training, religious cohesion, and social incentives, further strengthening the cohesion of the army. The psychological impact of Ottoman military might was also a significant factor. The sight of well-trained janissaries, heavily armed cavalry, massive cannons, and expertly coordinated maneuvers often intimidated opponents before combat even began. Fortresses, towns, and armies facing the Ottomans were aware not only of the empire's technological advantages, but also of its reputation for discipline, organization, and strategic foresight. This psychological edge, combined with overwhelming numbers in many campaigns, contributed to the empire's expansion and consolidation of territories. The campaigns led by Suleiman and executed by commanders like Ali Pasha reflected a balance between brute force and strategic planning. While sheer numbers could overwhelm opponents, careful preparation, reconnaissance, and coordination were equally important. Ottomans employed a combination of siege tactics, field battles, and diplomacy to achieve their objectives, demonstrating that the empire's military power was not limited to aggression, but included strategic calculation and adaptability. Furthermore, the Ottoman military machine was supported by the empire's infrastructure. Roads, supply depots, and administrative networks facilitated rapid troop movement and logistical support. The empire's ability to mobilize manpower, organize provisions, and maintain communication over long distances allowed the army to sustain prolonged campaigns that might have crippled less organized forces. This integration of military, administrative, and logistical elements created a level of operational efficiency unmatched by many contemporary powers. The effectiveness of the Ottoman military system under Suleiman also had long-term geopolitical implications. The empire's ability to project power into Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa reshaped regional dynamics, forcing neighboring states to adapt their strategies, fortifications, and alliances. Campaigns led by Ali Pasha and other commanders exemplified the empire's combination of military might, technical innovation, and administrative sophistication, establishing the Ottomans as a dominant force for decades. In conclusion, the Ottoman army under Sultan Suleiman and leaders like Ali Pasha represented a remarkable combination of organization, discipline, and technological superiority. Elite janissaries, highly mobile cavalry, massive artillery, and expert engineers created a force capable of executing complex campaigns with precision. Logistics, planning, and infrastructure ensured operational efficiency, while leadership emphasized skill, loyalty, and strategic foresight. This military might allow the Ottoman Empire to expand its territories, influence regional politics, and maintain dominance across vast and diverse regions. The legacy of Ottoman military power endures in history as an example of how professional, disciplined, and technologically advanced forces can project influence, overcome resistance, and achieve strategic objectives. Suleiman's vision, combined with the execution of commanders like Ali Pasha, ensured that the empire's armies were not only formidable in battle, but also instruments of statecraft, capable of shaping the political, cultural, and geographic landscape of the era.